Hello, I'm Phil and welcome to my channel. So today I thought I'd do a quick video running through what I think are the best 5 books to read if you're just getting into investing or slash trading in the stock market. So these are all books that I've read. I definitely believe that reading books is one of, if not the best way of learning about investing, financial literacy, trading, all of that. There's so much information packed into such small areas, and in terms of kind of the affordability of it, kind of £10, $10 for a book, which can give you more information than you're going to get on most courses, I think is definitely worth it and the way to go, especially at those early stages. So I've read dozens and dozens of books now on investing and trading and financial philosophy and all that type of thing. So these are the 5 that I've rated really highly. I think all of these actually I've reread, so I've gone back and read them again in the future. And these are ones I think are definitely best for beginners. If you're looking to get in, you're like, oh, I don't know what to look at, I don't know what to read. I'd recommend read these 5 books, and you'll have kind of really good base to work from, and then you can go down different avenues of what interests you more. So let's get started. So to start with, I don't actually have a physical copy of this. I read it on audiobook. I'll put a picture up though. But this is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah, so this isn't so much aimed at specifically like stock investing, stock trading or anything. It's more just a broad overview of kind of personal finance and financial literacy. So if you are coming in, like I was, kind of not really having an idea what investing was just in general, or kind of how to manage my finances and things, I'd definitely recommend starting with this. Even if you've got more knowledge, I mean, I've reread this kind of a couple of years after, when I'd been trading and doing stock investing for a while, and I still took a lot from it, a lot of kind of the fundamentals. It's always good to just remind yourself. But basically this just covers the basics of kind of investing. The main focus of it is kind of drilling into you really the differences between assets and liabilities in your life. And he does this through kind of like a story that he's telling throughout. It's not textbook, it's very well written, it's very easy to read. The reason it's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad is because his biological father, he calls his poor dad, even though he's not like poor, as you would say. He's got a very well paying job, but he considers him poor in the thing, who's not very good at investing in assets and kind of growing his wealth and things. And then his friend's dad, who he calls the rich dad, who is kind of an entrepreneur and does invest in assets and compounds his wealth and grows his wealth that way. And it's just a story of the journey between these two kind of influences in his life and the lessons he takes from both of them. But yeah, it's kind of a very good book to read just to get those basic fundamentals. So I suggest you start there. And I should say as well, these aren't in kind of like a top 5 order, like number 1 being the best, 5 the worst. What I've done is I've put them in the order that I believe you should read them. So they kind of increase in complexity to some extent. So that's the one I would start with. Next up, we have One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch. So this one is directly focused on investing in the stock market, how to find the stocks that you should be investing in, how to research them. It's very well written. It's very conversational, so it kind of flows from page to page. It's very easy to read, and he kind of gives anecdotes about his life and what he was doing at the time, and it's all based on his experience. So Peter Lynch himself was a very successful investor, ran kind of funds and things that had crazy compound returns. So he's speaking from experience. And yeah, it's a very easy and kind of fun read. I enjoyed it a lot. I had quite a few kind of laughs along the way as well. And it covers kind of more how to find the stocks that you want to invest in, how to research them, how to assess if they're appropriate to invest in, so looking at management and that type of thing. And he's very much an advocate of kind of boots on the ground, like going to visit kind of the companies, going to attend their kind of AGMs and chatting and talking to the CEOs. And also just as you are around in life, looking around you. So you don't have to be in front of a screen the whole time. He's a big advocate of getting out there, speaking to people, seeing what's popular in popular culture. If you're noticing new brands popping up on the high street, look at them, seeing which shops are busy, like actually getting out into the real world and looking at things from that perspective. He's a big advocate of. But it's a very good book that once you kind of finish with that, you have a much better understanding of kind of how to look at stocks and how to find ones to invest in. The next one, I do have a physical copy of this, but I gave it to my dad to borrow quite a long time ago, and I haven't got it back. So again, I'll put a picture up. This one I've reread a few times now, and it's actually the first book I ever read when I started investing / trading. So this is The Naked Trader by Robbie Burns. So this, as you might suggest from the title, you might guess from the title, is more focused on trading, but it's not like day trading or anything, it's swing trading, so trading and holding it for weeks or months at a time. So there's a lot you can take from it from an investing perspective as well. So when I first started, this is the only book I had read, and I kind of took this as my Bible and used the principles from this. I took basically everything he discussed in this book and set it all up and just copied him basically. I have since, not saying that doesn't work, I got positive results from that, but I have since moved to a kind of a more long-term investment style, so I've taken things and adapted it and moved on. But this is from Robbie Burns is a UK author. The first two I mentioned were American based, so it gives a different kind of perspective. He writes in a very humorous style. He throws lots of jokes in there, so it's very easy to read. And if you are a Brit, you might prefer that humour to some of the kind of writing in other books. So yeah, it's obviously more of a trading style. So he discusses how to find the stocks to enter. He covers some technical analysis in there as well, so charting, which the other two books don't cover. And he talks a lot about risk management, which obviously is more of a trading mindset, but it's very useful for investing long term as well, because it will help you pick your entries and things, even if you're planning on buying a stock to hold for the long period. It's useful from that kind of perspective. Yeah, so I'd very much recommend this one, and it's I think the reason I put it in this group of books as well is it's good to read just to see what your mindset is. It may be that like long-term investing doesn't suit your mindset at all, so this just gives you that trading perspective as well. And if you enjoy this and you think that's for you, then maybe you can go down that route and read some books on kind of shorter-term trading if that's what interests you. Though I would caution that the success rate in shorter-term trading, day trading, is far lower than it is in long-term investing, so just bear that in mind. Right, next up, we have The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. So this is kind of one of the Bibles of kind of value investing. It's a book that Warren Buffett says is one of his favourite books of all time, and Benjamin Graham was Warren Buffett's teacher and mentor for several years. So that's what kickstarted Warren Buffett's career, is he was using these principles in his investing. And for those that don't know, I think most people do know, but Warren Buffett is the most successful investor of all time, has at times been the richest person in the world. He's still going now at the age of 90 something, and he owns Berkshire Hathaway. But yeah, he's made hundreds of billions of dollars effectively starting from nothing. So he's seen by most as the greatest investor of all time, and he started by being taught by Benjamin Graham. So this is quite an old book. It was first published in 1949, so it's quite I'm not going to lie, it's quite a dry read. It's not one that I was kind of hooked on, and like, it's not a page turner, but it's more kind of like a textbook style. It's not quite as dry as a textbook, but unless you're used to reading a lot of kind of dry material, it might be harder to get through. But having said that, the information in it is invaluable, and as I say, it's focused on value investing, so it's invaluable I don't know, for learning how to value companies, learning how to find and tell if companies are undervalued compared to the market, and all of that kind of thing. And it will give you a really strong base, like framework to work from going forward, just on how to value companies based on their assets, their balance sheet, and that kind of thing, and just instantly be able to tell when a company's overvalued or not. So it's very much worth a read. And finally, we have 100 Baggers, so it's stocks that return 100 to 1 and how to find them, by Christopher Mayer. So I really enjoyed this book. It's not a very long book. It's a quick read, but it's full of very useful information, as you might imagine, on how to find those stocks that have the chance, it's obviously not guaranteed, have the chance of returning 100 to 1. So if you invest $1, getting $100 out of it. and obviously these are quite rare. So the book covers, it's mainly, well, almost entirely focused on small caps and micro caps because they need to be that small to have that kind of growth runway. But it's covering what to look for, what are the characteristics of these stocks, what you need to be looking out for, and he runs through a lot of case studies of previous stocks that have returned 100 to 1, and it builds this framework up for you for kind of a checklist of things to look at that a stock that could return 100 to 1 has to have. And I found this incredibly interesting and very useful, and I've taken a lot of elements from this, and I've added a lot of the elements from this into my investing checklist that I have. Not entirely, because I don't exclude the larger caps, but some of the questions, some of the points I've kind of incorporate into my day-to-day investing style. But again, it's a different perspective, so it's not really focused on value investing, but it gives you that this is more looking at those hyper growth stocks, so you got both ends of the spectrum covered. And again, so these 5 books are intended to give you a broad overview of kind of as much as you can in 5 books of the investing spectrum and trading spectrum, and just read these to give you a kind of idea of everything, and then you can go down the routes that interest you and hook you and grab you the most. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any books that you'd recommend, please let me know, because I'm constantly looking for new books to read. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing. I'm going to be putting out lots more videos. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hope you have a good day. Goodbye.